Um, I just had to delete a video that I did. Um, and this does deal with qualifiers. And if you've understood a lot of what I've processed or communicated, um, one of the things that comes to mind if you understand how a morphogenetic field works, and that is tied into one of the videos I did this morning. And one of the difficulties that I have, but it's not a difficulty, is that I'm inside time, outside time, inside time, outside time. Because ordinarily I don't operate on memory. Okay, so remember I talked about loading memory-driven programs and all that. So for example, I can say to myself, this would be a video of information I would want to share because of the way that the morphogenetic field works. And then when I start the camera, I forgot those words. They're gone. And the reason that that is important, which a video that I wanted to cover that subject, and then it's gone because the information is gone. Okay? Because I don't experience the same thing twice. So then it will come back to me if it has any value of importance to understand the difference between inside time, outside time, and the morphogenetic field, because we're all connected through neurons. Okay? And so the point that sort of got missed as a result of that when I turned the camera on that I didn't sort of highlight is the difference between being in time and outside time is because I'm using this to communicate with. That is inside time. Okay, which is speed differential. So I try and illustrate that, particularly people that's ever known me, when they say, boy, the energy that comes out of my heart, like when I write a love letter to a girl that's in prison, for example, to connect my heart of unconditional love, which is true love, I know how to connect to a girl's heart if she still has a soul and she's been abused, and that gets into the whole reason why people end up in prison to begin with. But in this particular case, I was looking for a girl to heal that was in state prison. Okay, and found out that, she was abused. And so that leads to self-abuse, and that leads to, a mirror that's breaking off, right? And they're just trying to survive. And as a result, they end up doing things to themselves that don't serve them, right? So now we're going back to what best serves us, which obviously is a love vibration. So they need healing to remember what love is. That's always coming full circle. All you got to do is look at a sun, a sphere, right? Water spheres, atom spheres, right? So what happens is that I realize that I'm on a phone because I'm seeing a little ticker off to my left that is telling me how much time it's taking for me to unfold the information, that I am aware of the time clock. And whenever I'm aware of the time clock, then it's naturally not going to flow the same way, because I realize that whatever information I want to unfold, it's being date stamped. Okay. And so it's not going to naturally flow. So an example of that would be when I'm in the privacy of, say, an isolated place, even though you realize you're not alone, right? Because I wrote this girl a 126-page love letter that was in prison. I'd never met her, didn't know her personally at all. So I stayed in my, at that time, motel room in Reno, Nevada, and I just started writing to her as if time did not exist, because it doesn't. An eternal love vibrations you experience in your heart, time is not existent for you. You're experiencing love vibration, and you are so on fire. So you know how creative love can share, how creative love can be expressed and communicated. The amount of energy that is represented by that is never going to come out of your heart at the same rate of speed at which you're writing it. Okay? Because of where you're at in a computer terminal, which is what this is. Okay? In a simulator. That's a torque differential speed difference. But you can be in a time of state in which that energy just flows out of my heart. It ends up on that paper. That means that energy is on that paper, in which the time doesn't exist, because when that letter was delivered and she was reading that energy, she could feel the true love that was experienced in me. She was able to experience in her with her soul. That's how a morphogenetic field structure works. We're connected. Okay. through circuits. Okay. So the reason that that is important is a speed differential when you know you're held captive to time while I'm using this phone. So if I'm remembering something that I want to say or just experiencing something that I feel in my heart that I want to communicate it, when I realize I'm now on what we call a time delay, it's not going to come out the same way. As a matter of fact, I might not even remember it because of the time that I was feeling it through my heart and soul. It's gone. Now, it may come back because it was important to experience it as a communication on this phone to those that see this communication. Okay? That's the primary reason, one of the reasons why a lot of the videos that I did starting back in Reno, Nevada, I was prompted to do them. And I did them in very short segments for very specific reasons. And why is that? Density. Why is density important? Because of the amount of information that you can process as energy in a given moment, which is the completion of a magnetic circuit, which means now you're able to connect to a larger library that exists within your own mind that you're now perceiving with a higher speed vibration, represented by the communicator that is experiencing that vibration communicating with you. That's called expansion in your capacity to experience more of what you are now aware of. And that's what a 12 by 12 provides you, is it allows you a higher state of awareness of what you're processing, of what you're aware of, so you're not held captive by something that is less than what you are in energy. Okay? And that's how, when I knew as a child, by the codes that you have access to by virtue of who you are, because you are running an eternal love vibration, allows you to be able to know what's going on, right? Because somebody who is a healer is not going to be able to heal others unless I have a way to be able to rehabilitate myself. Given because they track you coming in here. They already know who you are. Okay? So you're in a game field, what's known as a theater of war, as Kim Go-Gun once said. A video game with a joystick console. Right? So you're gaming. So that's what gets into what's known as a war of deception, or the art of deception, or the art of communication. And love has a very beautiful way of communicating what the truth is, because that's what love is. Because love doesn't live in any fear of communicating what I experience, no matter what it is. Otherwise, what am I going to do? Put it in a box and hide it from the rest of the universe as if the universe doesn't know and can't be aware of what that is? Right? And that's called being an open soul, which is an open source, which means I'm not afraid to share everything that I've experienced here, which was a house of horrors. Right? Where the most evil things that are possible on the other end of the spectrum are possible to experience because I did. Right? People being put into wood chippers. Okay, scale that up. Right? So as a child, I realized that this is an illusion. Something this evil isn't possible to exist in a universe that started with what love is. What happened? This is an illusion. Nothing like this is possible to experience. This isn't what love is. How is it possible that you could be experiencing something that evil that exists anywhere in the universe that was created out of what love is? It's not possible. So imagine you're a child having to explain that to yourself. Right? So when you are what the law is, which is what love is that goes on forever, then you know that love is a solution. Because that's the highest law. So I thought that was, I needed to sort of let that go. Just let it flow. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Have a great day.